Have you ever wondered why your child can spend 45 minutes straight on a math app, solving equations and earning digital stickers? But the second you ask them to sit still for a 5-minute bedtime story, they start squirming like they're sitting on an anthill. It's a paradox that's haunting modern living rooms, from the high rises of New York to the suburbs of Los Angeles. We were told these apps were educational. We were told they were building the skills of the future. But what if I told you that some of the most popular educational apps on your iPad right now are actually doing the opposite? What if they are quietly, systematically dismantling your child's ability to sustain focus, regulate their emotions, and handle the boredom of real-world learning? Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the 5 types of educational apps that are secretly destroying your child's attention span. Most parents today are caught in what I call the educational halo trap. We see a bright green icon with a cartoon owl or a friendly robot, and we think, hey, at least they aren't watching brain-rotting toy unboxing videos. We've been conditioned to believe that if there's a number or a letter involved, it's a win for their brain. But here's the reality. The medium is often more powerful than the message. Research from developmental psychologists is starting to show a terrifying trend. When a child's brain is conditioned by high-speed, reward-saturated digital environments, the physical structure of their developing prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for impulse control and sustained attention, actually begins to adapt to that high-octane pace. They aren't learning math. They are learning to crave dopamine. Let's look at the first culprit, the reward-heavy slot machine apps. Think about those apps where every single correct answer is met with a ding, a shower of confetti, and a chest full of digital coins. I remember talking to a mother in Chicago, Sarah, whose 6-year-old was advanced in a popular reading app. But Sarah noticed something chilling. Her son wasn't actually reading the sentences. He was clicking buttons as fast as possible, looking for the animation of the dancing cat. These apps use variable ratio reinforcement, the same psychological mechanism used in Las Vegas slot machines. By flooding the brain with dopamine for every microaction, we are training kids to only exert effort when there is an immediate, flashy reward. In the real world, in a classroom in the middle of a Tuesday morning, there is no confetti. And that's when these kids check out. The second type is even more insidious. The rapid micro-lesson systems. These are the apps that boast, learn Spanish in 5 minutes a day, or master algebra in bite-sized chunks. On the surface, it sounds efficient, but for a developing brain, it's like feeding them nothing but sugar cubes instead of a full meal. When learning is broken down into 30-second bursts, the brain never has to enter deep work mode. It stays in a state of continuous partial attention. I've seen this in middle schools in Seattle. Kids who grew up on micro-lesson apps can answer a multiple-choice question in a heartbeat. But if you ask them to write a 3-paragraph essay that requires holding a complex thought in their head for 20 minutes, they crumble. They literally do not have the neural pathways to sustain a single train of thought for longer than a TikTok clip. Then we have the hyper-gamified platforms. Now, don't get me wrong, games are great, but there is a massive difference between a game that happens to be educational and an educational tool that has been gamified to the point of obsession. These apps use leaderboards, leagues, and streaks to keep kids coming back. Imagine a 10-year-old girl in Houston. She's at the top of her Diamond League in a language app. Is she learning the language? Maybe. But she's also experiencing intense cortisol spikes, stress hormones, every time she sees someone pass her on the leaderboard. We are turning learning into a high-stress competition of speed. When the goal becomes staying on top of the leaderboard rather than understanding the concept, the child's brain prioritizes the quick hit over the deep comprehension. They become expert gamers, not expert learners. Fourth on our list, the frictionless adaptive algorithms. This one sounds like a miracle of technology. The app learns your child's level and perfectly adjusts so they are never too challenged. But here's the secret. Friction is where learning happens. If a child never encounters a problem that makes them feel frustrated, if they never have to sit with a puzzle for 10 minutes feeling stuck, they never develop grit. By removing all the obstacles, these apps are creating intellectual fragility. The moment these kids hit a real-world problem, like a difficult social interaction on a playground in San Francisco or a complex science project, they give up. They've been trained by their apps that if something is hard, the system should just make it easier for them. We are accidentally raising a generation that is allergic to the struggle of learning. And finally, the fifth and perhaps most dangerous, the endless content ecosystems. You know the ones. They look like educational YouTube. One video about planets ends, and before the child can even process what a gas giant is, the next video about how honey is made starts playing automatically. This is passive consumption disguised as education. There is no reflection. There is no stop and think. It's just a fire hose of information being sprayed at a tiny brain. This creates a state of sensory overload. After an hour of this, the child's brain is so overstimulated that the real world looks, well, gray. It looks boring. This is why, when you finally take the iPad away, they have a screen time tantrum. Their brain is literally crashing from a high-stimulation bender. So what do? Do we throw the iPads into the Atlantic Ocean? Not quite. But we do need a new framework. I call it the A.C.U.T.E method for vetting any app you put in front of your child. A is for active. Does the app require the child to create something or just tap a screen? C is for calm. Is the interface peaceful or is it full of flashing lights and loud dings? U is for uninterrupted. Does it allow the child to focus on one task for more than 5 minutes without a reward pop-up? T is for thoughtful. Does it ask why or just which one? And E is for effort-based. Does the app reward the process of trying or just the result of winning? If you want to fix your child's attention span, you need a roadmap. Think of it as an attention detox. Week 1, the low stimulus shift. Replace the slot machine apps with utility apps. Instead of a math game, give them a digital drawing pad or a simple music-making app. Something where they are the creator, not the consumer. You'll see resistance. In the first 3 days, they will tell you they are bored. This is the goal. Boredom is the space where the brain starts to seek its own stimulation. It's the reboot screen for the prefrontal cortex. Week 2 and 3, the deep work build. Start introducing linear learning. This means books, physical ones, or long-form audio stories. No visuals, just audio. This forces the brain to build its own mental movies. It's like a workout for the focus muscles. By the end of month 1, you'll notice something amazing. That child who couldn't sit through a 5-minute story, they're suddenly asking questions. They're staying engaged. They're focusing. Now, I know what you're thinking. But my kid's school uses these apps. Or, I need that 20 minutes of peace to make dinner. I hear you. We all live in the real world. If you're in a situation where the app is a necessity, try the co-play technique. Sit with them for just 5 minutes. Ask them to explain the logic behind what they are doing. This breaks the zombie mode trance. It forces the brain to move from the reactive back brain to the reflective front brain. You are essentially acting as an external prefrontal cortex for them until theirs is strong enough to handle the tech on its own. Here is the advanced secret that the app developers don't want you to know. The most educational thing a child can do for their brain is something that has absolutely no educational label on it. It's building a fort with couch cushions. It's sorting buttons by color. It's watching an ant carry a crumb across a sidewalk. Why? Because these things are unscripted. Educational apps are a closed system. The child can only do what the programmer allowed. Real life is an open system. It requires the highest level of cognitive function, original thought. To wrap this up, remember that the goal of education isn't to fill a bucket. It's to light a fire. And fires don't start with high-speed algorithms and digital confetti. They start with a single, sustained spark of curiosity. Today, I want you to do one thing. Just one. Go into your child's tablet and delete the one app that has the most bells and whistles. You know which one it is. The one that makes them look like a little hypnotized statue. Delete it. And when they say, "I'm bored," look them in the eye, smile, and say, "That's wonderful. I can't wait to see what you dream up next." Do you have an app that you've noticed makes your child cranky or wired after they use it? Drop the name of it in the comments below. Let's start a conversation and help other parents navigate this digital minefield. I'll be down there answering questions and sharing more resources on how to protect your family's focus. In our next video, we're going to talk about the boredom advantage and how to use it to skyrocket your child's IQ. Until next time, keep the screens low and the curiosity high. I'll see you in the next one.